Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of South Texas News and Reviews. It's September the 8th on a Monday evening. Pretty late so far. Hope I can get the number of seconds on the banner here, and then we'll go ahead and discuss a few things around town. Be right back with you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think both cameras are running. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights on, let them adjust. I know that's a kind of a jolt to you. I'm going to go around and take my seat. Like I say, this is a solo show. Mr. Eddie's still working hard, so I'm going to go ahead and take my seat over here and see what we can stir up this evening. Boy, those lights are bright. Anyway, got a few things to say. Camera's rolling. The clock's running pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. This t-shirt represents the Clean Economy Coalition that I am the chair of. We've got a meeting tomorrow, or I guess the end of this week, and we're going to discuss a few things about the local environmental issues and so forth. On August the 15th, there were two environmental quality, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality announcements. These were both from the M&G resins, and this disturbs me greatly. I'm going to bring this up at our meeting next week, or on this weekend. It's going to be on Sunday. We meet at 4:30 Waco Street in the Progressive Center the second Sunday of the month. This will probably air after that. But these were two publications that came out on 8/15/2014 concerning M&G Plastics, and I'm horrified that before this came out, we had met with the M&G people. They have preached that they're going to be the cleanest thing in town. This is when they make the little plastic nurdles, they call them. And those are going in to make plastic bottles and so forth. So what they're going to do is come in, I guess, just like Las Brisas did. I consider them to be equally as deceptive as Las Brisas was in the beginning, and just pollute the stuffings out of us. Okay? So I wanted to announce that. I'm going to have some real serious discussions with the membership of Clean Economy Coalition, Sierra Club, and some other environmental factors around here, and find out what in the world's going on and how we've been deceived one more time. And I guess I'm just going to have to find someone to go ahead, and if I don't do it myself, although I will, I'm just going to go ahead and file the protests and so forth, the contested case hearings on M&G, because they've got a lot of stuff in here that was not presented to us in the beginning, and these were high emissions of different things. It says the proposed facility will emit the following air contaminants in a significant amount: nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, and particulate matter, including particulate matter with diameters of 10 microns or less and 2.5 microns or less. In addition, the facility will emit the following air contaminants: sulfur dioxide, sulfuric acid, ammonia, ammonium sulfate, and hazardous air pollutants. Okay? The other permit in here pretty much says the same thing. Okay? They will emit the following, and then they say how much, and then et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really rather perturbed with their inability to be truthful with me and the public up front. Then another one we've got, I spent an awful lot of my personal money, my personal time, going to Robstown, to the U.S. Ecology Texas facilities over there, which is probably one of the most disastrous enterprises I've ever seen. Okay? Now here, this one just cropped up recently. I got it in the mail. It says U.S. Ecology Texas Incorporated, a commercial, industrial, and hazardous waste processing, storage, and disposal facility located at County Road 69, Robstown, Texas, had submitted a request for a Class 2 modification to industrial and hazardous waste permit, thus and so issued by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. this notice of modification to permit so-and-so is being sent to you in accordance with the TCEQ rules. Okay, Class 2 modification would authorize the following changes in the facility permit. Now, there were several residents that lived within 100 yards of this place that contacted the Clean Economy Coalition and me when I was, and I'm still the chair of that organization, and that was back just after we had pretty much defeated, I'll say, Las Brisas Energy Center, and they were worried about this. They were running overtime. They were flooding a bunch of chemicals out and ruining the quality of the environment and the health and welfare of the local residents out there. It's mostly an agricultural community. And I spent a lot of money out there. I spent a lot of time out there. I spent a lot of energy and so forth. And then some of the residents out there just reneged on me and settled with U.S. Ecology on their original permits out there and just sold me down the river. So I don't have a great deal of sympathy for those people except the children. Okay, so if you want to go around and say you're going to do this, you want my help and so forth and so on, and then you go ahead and sell me down the river, then I take a pretty dim view of that. Now, I would like to also address a problem at Coastal Bend College. I know I have indicated that I have discussed the saga of Dr. Eloisa Garcia up there, who was director of the nursing programs for all 4 of their campuses: Beeville, Pleasanton, Alice, and Kingsville. And there was an article that came out. Now, my bone of contention is with Dr. Beatrice Espinosa. She's the president up there, and she hired her sister, which is nepotism as far as I'm concerned, to be the, director of human resources or something like that, okay? And it's been one debacle after another. And then Dr. Espinosa, I think, was very mean and vicious and went and trumped up some charges against Dr. Eloisa Garcia, who's one of the finest PhD nurses I know. I knew her here at Del Mar. I still keep up with her, and she's one fine lady, folks. She also has a certificate with the family nurse practitioner designation, and just for a couple of dollars, Beatrice Espinosa went ahead and got rid of her. Now, I think it's because she hired her sister, which I think is nepotism, that's Julia Garcia, as that dean of workforce. That's what it was, not human resources. Okay, which is nepotism. And then I think Miss Julia Garcia turned around and hired her daughter as a secretary up there, which is further proof of nepotism and so forth, which is against the law. I'm still trying to get the Attorney General and everybody involved in that one. I think it's a tragedy. Okay? Now, so what she has done, Dr. Beatrice Espinosa, is there was an article that came out in the Beeville Bee-Picayune is the name of the newspaper. Okay? And I'm going to have to use this because when I print it out, I do subscribe to that online, and I can get into the thing and print it out, but it's in real small print, okay, because the paper's this big and I'm down to 11.5 by 8 by 11.5 paper to do this. But it says that the CBC, which is Coastal Bend College Board, Espinosa, which is Dr. Beatrice Espinosa, the president, present a balanced budget. So on the I think this was August 20th of 2014, there's a picture of Dr. Espinosa there with that smug look on her face, as usual. And she's sitting there with some very despicable board members, Board of Trustees members, as far as I'm concerned, and they're crowing about balancing the budget. And one of those people who keeps crowing up there, let's see, what's her name? I'll find it in a minute. She's been on the board for a while. I've got the Board of Regents, or the Board of Trustees people here. Yeah, Laura Fisher, Vice Chair. Miss Fisher grew up in B County and graduated from Pettis High School. She attended the University of Texas at Austin, where she received both her Bachelor of Science degree and Master's degree in Mathematics education. Miss Fisher taught school in Austin ISD and Beeville ISD before joining her family business, which is the R.W. Dirks Petroleum Engineering Incorporated. She served on the Beeville Independent School District Board for 15 years and is very active in the Beeville community. She has received many honors, including B County Citizen of the Year in 2006. She and her husband, John, have one daughter. Okay? Now, this is one of the biggest sour-faced individuals I've ever seen, and she, as far as she's concerned, Dr. Beatrice Espinosa can do no wrong. Now, she was on the board of trustees when they hired Dr. Espinosa. Then we have Carol Loshi, a male. Okay, he was the board of trustees vice chairman before. He's now the chair of the CBC board of trustees, and he's a farmer up there. He went to A&I University Kingsville, and then he went to A&M University College Station, and he farms and ranches in B County and San Patricio. He's another great fan of Dr. Espinosa. Now, these were two of the people out of the three that are there that hired this woman. Okay, so they're not going to admit that they screwed up and made a mistake. Okay, and then we have Martha Warner, attended the University of Texas in Austin, where she earned a baccalaureate degree in business administration before moving on to receive her Juris Doctor. Okay, that's the Doctor of Jurisprudence from St. Mary's University of Law. And she is also a great proponent of Dr. Espinosa. Now, what happened in the last election, we had several people that were replaced, some of the old-timers. And during a hearing with Dr. Eloisa Garcia, it was found out that there was a 3-3 split because the new people on the board and one of the older ones, Mr. Carrillo, Bryce Carrillo, determined that maybe there had been a gross mistake made in the termination of Dr. Garcia. And that's led to some real problems. So that story ain't over, folks, okay? So we'll see what happens. So Miss Dee Dee Burnell, who I think is the principal of one of the schools around there, and Jeff Massengill, who used to be a faculty member at Coastal Bend College. And so they, with Mr. Bryce Carrillo, said that no, I think there were some mistakes made with Dr. Garcia's termination, and we need to back it up, or back up and pay the woman off at least, okay? So that did not fly because Dr. Beatrice Espinosa, in a 3-3 split, was said that they essentially, the Board of Trustees agreed with her because of the 3-3 split, and one of the other board members abstained, which I think is pretty low life, but you know, that's what happens when you've got elected officials that are non-education people and they don't know diddly about what's going on. Now, subsequent to that balanced budget on the August 20th story in the B-Picayune, then there was a letter to the editor from Jeannie S. Jones, CPA. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can blow this up enough with this thing to read it, because this is real small print, like I say, when you reduce that big paper down to an 8.5 by 11. But it says the CBC budget. Now, this was in response to the article about the balanced budget. Okay? After reading your August 20th article, I would like to propose a change to your title to the CBC Board. Espinosa presents balanced budget on the backs of the students. Okay? Now, that's pretty brutal, folks. Okay? That tells it all to me. All right, and I agree. The budget, which passed 3-2 at the August 20th board meeting, is balanced in that expenses did not exceed revenues, but a closer look at the budget shows some alarming trends with excessive cuts to instructional spending and huge increases to administrative spending. It's called administrative bloat. We've got the same problem at Del Mar College and across the nation, folks, and I'm going to discuss that in a minute in relationship to Del Mar College. Instructional and library spending, which pays for instructors, classroom supplies, travel, and other operating expenses, has decreased by $3,125,230 from base year 2012 to the 2015 year budget. Okay, the cut for the 2015 budget to instruction is $590,000. Administration and overhead spending has increased by $573,699 from base year 2012 to the 2015 year budget. The increase for 2015 budget to administration is $876,000. During the reign of Dr. Espinosa, I like that, the reign of, the spending pattern of the total budget has gone from 37% spent on instruction to 22% on instruction. One of the board members who voted for the budget even quipped something along the lines that administration needs to be larger than instruction because they do so much. I ask you, who will teach the classes? Okay? Now, that is, I don't know, they didn't say which one of the board members said that, but that is total insanity, folks. Let me read it to you again, okay? All right. One of the board members who voted for the budget even quipped something along the lines that administration needs to be larger than instruction because they do so much. Now, who the hell teaches the students, okay? I ask you. Do administrators go out there and contribute to the educational process? Do they teach students? No, they don't. They sit back and they encumber the instructional process. The same thing happens at Del Mar College. I've got more damn forms to fill out. I've got more hoops to go through. I'm told every day that I'm worthless. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to quote Dr. Fernando Figueroa, my vice president of instruction, who says that PhDs don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay? So, I mean, I know I'm on a roll here. Okay? Now, the students care about having qualified instructors in classes. I have never heard a student bemoan the lack of administrators. Okay? Prudent budgeting and financial management means you spend your money in areas that generate revenue. For a college, that is instruction. Students and seats generate revenue. Administration is a necessary cost center, but to spend more money on overhead than on your product is a great way to go bankrupt. B County taxpayers need to know that 3 board members voted to increase your property taxes to fund the administrative bloat. There will be public tax hearings in the Coastal Bend College boardroom on August 25th and September 3rd at 5:30 p.m. The old board did not listen to those of you who voted for change in May. Maybe they will listen if you stop them on the street and make comments at the hearings. And that's Janine S. Jones, CPA. Now, I've got a whole lot more faith in a CPA than I do an administrator at either Coastal Bend College or Del Mar College. Okay? It's total insanity to have this administrative bloat continue. All right. Then one of the members said that Coastal Bend does not discriminate on the basis of race, creed, color, national origin, gender, age, or disability. And I consider that to be bovine excrement, folks. I know better, okay? I've been up there, I've listened to hearings, I've seen the travesty of getting rid of one of the most qualified PhD nurses that was director of the nursing program, and she ran her fanny off between Beeville, Pleasanton, Alice, and Kingsville to keep those programs going. And did she get any accolades for that? Was she compensated for that? Was she rewarded for that? Not no, but hell no. Okay, she was unceremoniously fired at the hands of Dr. Beatrice Espinosa. Okay, and you know, I truly believe in the adage of day of reckoning. So one day the day of reckoning will happen up there at Coastal Bend the same way it's going to happen down here at Del Mar College. Okay, so I don't think I need that thing anymore. If I do, I'll pull it over here. But the print was so small, so I hope that whoever said that I keep taking my glasses off and doing this, I've been trying to keep them on here. I know they look like the Dickens on the air, but I'll go ahead and live with it. Now, another thing that I've got is, I'll be totally honest with you, I am a full professor at Del Mar College, and you know, I think I've earned my rite of passage over there for the past 25 years. I can't believe I've been there that long. I've had a great deal of fun. My only mission in life at Del Mar College is to take people in the community and provide them as taxpayer, professor, employee at Del Mar College with the chance to get a leg up and go to school, go to class, do well, and make a lot of money and support their family in a lot higher, at a lot higher plane than out there at minimum wage. And that's what Del Mar College should be striving to do, is to bring all citizens up to a certain educational standard, not ruin programs and stuff. Now, I'm going to admit to you up front that in addition to being a full professor, tenured professor at Del Mar College, tenure doesn't mean diddly as far as me being fired. They can fire me anytime. I've requested to be fired. I'll request again if you don't like what I'm saying, Del Mar College, and all you attorneys over there, the high-priced attorneys that won't bill the college for fear of uncovering some probably very unsavory things. Maybe I can put it that way. But anyway, so I'm also the chair of the Clean Economy Coalition. We defeated Las Brisas Energy Center. I had another sign with the International No on it, and that was Chris Adler. I did not want that woman as the mayor of this town. I signed all 200 or 300 signs, and she's not mayor. And then I went up against my boss, my direct boss, one Trey McCampbell, who's with American Bank. He's got a finance background, I'm told. I wouldn't know it from what he does with the Board of Regents. But he's the one that pushed the Destination Bayfront. I put out 200 or 300 signs and a bunch of T-shirts for that one. Signed every one of them personally. And Destination Bayfront failed. So I think I'm on a roll, folks. Okay? Now, I have in the past supported certain candidates for the Del Mar College Board of Regents, City Council, Commissioner's Court, and so forth and so on. And I'm batting along with my friend Eddie Forrest, who can't be here this evening to help me tape, but we're batting about 1,000. Okay? Now, I don't know why this happened, but I do have a very large bone to pick with Del Mar College about the termination of a very highly qualified, this is another PhD nurse. I don't know why this last year has been so hard on them, Dr. Eloisa Garcia and Dr. Janelle Bennett, but it just seems that you know, people can't take success when it comes to a PhD nurse and the very high standards that they hold. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Now, Dr. Bennett has a husband who's a CPA, and then I just gave you Miss Jones's take on this. And I have, for a long time, been after Del Mar College to find out where the money went. where the money goes, what shenanigans are being done. And I am considered, I guess, as an expert on Public Information Act requests in the state of Texas. So I don't mind going after these people, okay? All I can say is if you don't like it, Delmar College, Mr. McCampbell and the administrators over there, fire me. Put me out of my misery. Well, it's not misery. I'm having a ball, okay? My nose is growing when I say that. Okay, however, when Mr. Ed Bennett announced that he was running for the Delmar College Board of Regents at large to go over there and straighten some of this stuff out, we've both been horrified at what we've found through Public Information Act requests about various financial things going on over there or not going on. Okay, so I get this email from Dr. Escamilla, who's the president of Delmar College, Dr. Mark Escamilla, and let's see when this came out. I don't know if I've got a date on it. It's been in the last couple of days, maybe a week or so. Okay. Now, this is the reason that they do not appreciate me at all. Now, I have been associated with Mr. Bennett for over a year, and I'm horrified at what they did to his wife, and who is a very, as I say, learned, very strict, very forceful, and excellent PhD nursing instructor. Okay, and I've told the story before. But this is another thing that just sets me back on my heels, okay? Now, it says policies and procedures regarding or regulating political activities. Until Election Day on Tuesday, November the 4th, 2014, Delmar College and the Corpus Christi community are in a political season defined in the college policy and the Texas state statute. A political season begins on the first day candidates may file for a specific election and ends after the election day. Then in big bold print, employees' working hours. During this political season, Delmar College employees may not engage in any political activity during their working hours. Okay? This includes advocating for or against any candidate or issue that will appear on the November election ballot. Outside of work hours, college employees are free to express their opinions and engage in political activities off campus using personal, not college, resources. Now, I'm filming this in my home, folks. It's late at night on a Monday. It may be even early Tuesday morning. And this is my time. So, Dr. Escamilla, I'm not doing this during working hours, okay? All right? And I am advocating that certain things be done at Delmar College and that certain things, issues, be addressed finally in your tenure here, okay? Now, I've had a heart-to-heart with you recently. I told you the way I felt about things. I presented you with certain problems that were going on at Delmar College, which included the health and welfare of some of the employees, faculty members, and employees. And as far as I can determine to this point, you've totally ignored me, okay? Now, you may have said something to your fine administrators over there, your CFO and your provost and all these other people. But let me tell you what, things are not being addressed, Dr. Escamilla. Now, I don't know if that's a direct reflection on you not caring or if it's a direct reflection on your administrators not telling you what's going on and being totally and upfront and honest with you. I'm going to ferret that information out and find out, okay? So I'm hoping that you are being bamboozled over there and that you're not a party to all this stuff that's not being done in a timely manner. People are suffering over there. Their health and welfare is in jeopardy, and nobody at Delmar College that I've seen in the last several months really gives a tinker's damn whether people are over there having problems with health and so forth or not. That's my personal opinion. And just because a couple of your administrators don't think I know what the hell I'm talking about, then hey, that's your problem, not mine. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I do not say anything that I can't back up and go to court with or whatever you want to do. Okay. All right, it says use of college property. Employees may not utilize college equipment, supplies, facilities, or any other asset provided by taxpayer funds to influence the outcome of an election. The use of college property and/or resources is prohibited, regardless of whether it is a political season or not, and regardless of whether the activity happens during or outside of the employee's work hours. Okay, I don't use anything of Del Mar College. You can go back, and I know you're tracking this. It has been for a long time. My telephone at Del Mar College has been bugged for years. Email over there is being screened. That's the reason my computer is so damn slow. It's because everybody's over there trying to figure out whether I'm going to screw up and use my Del Mar email and computer internet service to conduct anything that's illicit. So good luck with that one. I don't, okay? I don't go online and even look up the recipe for an angel food cake. I don't do that, okay? Not with your equipment. Then it says government regulations. All contact with elected officials or candidates for public office involving the college is coordinated through the Office of the Executive Director of Strategic Communication and Government Relations. That's a mouthful. That's a poppycock. Okay, who then coordinates those activities with the college president. This stipulation remains in effect at all times, not limited to political seasons. So if you want to have anything done, then you have to go through the Executive Director of Strategic Communication and Government Relations, whatever the hell that means, okay, and coordinate that. That'll be coordinated with the college president, which is you, Dr. Escamilla, okay? So why did you have to send this out? Just because I'm a friend of Janelle Bennett's husband, who is a certified public accountant. He knows what's going on over there. We've got some real flaws in the system. And what are you people concerned with? And Mr. Augustin Rivera Jr., the attorney of record for the Del Mar College Board of Regents, then why haven't you billed since November 26th of 2013? I know you're working over there. Are you that benevolent a soul that you're going to go over there and provide the college with all those many, many hours and so forth? Or, if my question is, what are you trying to cover up? And when are you going to bill us? That's going to be one hell of a bill, because you've been running, in 5 figures every month for a long, long time for your services before November 26th of 2013. And then you want to ask me to go out and vote for you for the judgeship of the 148th District Court of the state of Texas against Guy Williams? I don't think so. Okay? So if you want to know where I stand, until you fess up and go ahead and bill and submit all that stuff, bill for what you've been doing, I'm going to back off. Now, with that in mind, with Dr. Escamilla's note, when people announced that they were running for the board of regents at Del Mar College, this is the Del Mar College Foghorn. It's the official paper of Del Mar College. And here's the front page on the last issue, and I want to address this and find out what in the world is going on over there. This is the August 26, 2014, Volume 80, Issue 1. The above-the-fold article is Proposed Del Mar Bond Cut in Half. And it shows a picture of Dr. Escamilla with a coffee cup in his hand, laid back. And it says, Del Mar College President Mark Escamilla said he's excited to be a part of updating and renovating the campuses. Okay, now I'm going to come back and address this. But then it says drawing for ballot spots. Candidates look to election. 9 hopeful runs for DMC Regent seats. And this was by Kaylee Bink, B-E-N-C-K, Editor-in-Chief. 9 Del Mar College Board of Regents candidates drew their ballot placement for the November election on August 21st in the Isaac Boardroom on the first floor of the Harvin Student Center on East Campus. Each candidate is running for DMC Regent seat. Elections will take place on November the 4th. And that's the end of the article, folks. Okay? Now there are 2 photographs, and I don't know if this will show, but it shows a woman with her hand in a box drawing a ping pong ball with a number on it. And then at the bottom down here, it shows a person who was a candidate, and he's signing the paperwork to run for regent. Now, let me tell you who these 2 people are, okay? The big picture with the young lady who's got her hand in that box drawing the number, that's one Carol Scott, okay? Now, she is the current president of the CCISD Board of, I don't think it's regents, it's Board of Trustees, okay? Now, why would they have a large picture of Carol Scott and no pictures of anybody else except this guy down here who's Todd M. Walter, and he's already on the board from District 4, and those 2 are the favorites, I think, of the Del Mar College administration and the Board of Regents. Okay? Why else would they not have the other candidates involved on that? Okay? I think it's a travesty that the Foghorn was probably told not to say anything about the other candidates. Okay? Now, let me address this. Ballot placement is what they were doing. Okay? Now, there are 3 people that are running for District 4, and there's only one of them that's going to get the nomination, and that's number Guy Watts, who's been a board member, Board of Regents member on there since I got to Del Mar College. It must be over 20 years now. Nicole Horton, which they don't say anything about in here. I wouldn't know Nicole Horton from a hole in the ground. And the now incumbent, which is Todd M. Walter. Okay, he's been on the board for a couple of 3, maybe 4 years. Now, so he's sitting here with his picture on the front, signing the paperwork to run for that District 4. Now, where's the picture of Guy Watts and Nicole Horton? Where's the write-up on what those people do and what they are? It doesn't exist, okay? Then as far as the at-large, there are 2 positions, and there's 6 people running for those. Number 1 is Steve DeAces, who is a young, I think, engineer around town. Doesn't say anything about him, okay? All I know is he's flitting around, you know, talking to everybody over there. The second on the ballot in the position is going to be Dr. Nick Adami. He's a chiropractor here. Dr. Adami, I have signs in my garage yet when Mr. Eddie Flores and I backed him for that position on the Board of Regents, and now he's turned around and he doesn't even know Eddie and I. Okay? He's a big LULAC person. Okay? So he's chiropractor. He's an incumbent. Then number 3 is Mr. Ed Bennett. That's Dr. Janelle Bennett's husband. He's a CPA, very seasoned, master's in business, CPA with 30 some odd years of accounting experience at very high levels with some very large corporations and so forth. The man knows what he's doing. Okay? Now, since I'm not on Del Mar time, then I can say things like that. Then we've got Coretta Trinita, I think it is, Graham. I believe that Miss Graham is an attorney. Okay? She's running for the place, and she Ramiro Gamboa. I think he is a radiology tech, and he's run on several elections over the years. He's another big one with LULAC. And then the sixth spot, when she pulled the thing out of the hat with her big picture here, it's a good, 5x7 picture of her with a big smile on her face with her hand in the box pulling that ping pong ball out, is Carol A. Scott. And she is, and it doesn't say here either, that she is the current president of the CCISD Board of Trustees. Okay. Now, why would the foghorn have the picture of these two people? Now, let me just take a wild guess at this. This is my own personal opinion, and I can only surmise why these pictures are on there. I think that the real estate cartel, which consists of Mr. Trey McCampbell and Miss Scott on the CCISD board, and more importantly, Mark Scott, who is Carol Scott's husband. He's a title company official, okay? Now, I have preached on this show time and time again that I am sick and tired of the real estate cartel that exists around in Corpus Christi, Texas. Now, let me give you a little facts about the Scotts, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. People have seen my no Chris Adler signs before because I didn't think that Mrs. Adler needs to be mayor after what she did on the CCISD board in Del Mar College, okay, and on the city council. But Mark Scott, being a real estate connected person, was with Joe Adami and a whole bunch of other city council people that I call and state as the real estate cartel around here. Now, when I went against, and I was violently opposed to, and consequently the company's not here, Las Brisas Energy Center, Carol Scott, Mrs. Mark Scott, owns and runs her own public relations company, okay? Now, at the time, I did not know it, but when Las Brisas Energy Center was politicking and wanting to get all that money and so forth to build that baby-killing plant over here on the ship channel, then Carol Scott was the one that owned the public relations company that was putting up the public relations for Las Brisas Energy Center. Now, there were several votes that came up through City Council on whether they approved and would approve and be proponents of Las Brisas Energy Center. And a lot of those real estate cartel people were salivating over that position. Now, when it came up to a vote, when Mark Scott knew good and well that his wife was making money with Las Brisas Energy Center, I would have thought that any prudent and fair and honest individual would have redacted themselves and said, okay, recused themselves, not redacted, and not voted for Las Brisas Energy Center, all of those votes that came up. But he voted for it anyway. Now, why couldn't he recuse himself and say, my wife is the public relations company that is hired by Las Brisas Energy Center to do this? Okay? And do you think that now, with that in mind, I want somebody like Carol Scott on the Board of Regents at Del Mar College, and that is my employer, okay? And I don't know what in the world's going to happen with students if they do that. Okay? Now, we've got some massive cover-ups over there on the Public Information Act request. So I just thought I'd let you know. And then why would the only person who is the incumbent running for District 4, Mr. Todd M. Walter, why would his picture be on the front of this? And the foghorn did not run any information on any of the other candidates for these, nor their photographs. So what's going on, folks? Okay. So the public relations over there at Del Mar College, I guess, through the Board of Regents members say, okay, well, we want these two on the board for sure because they'll go along with us, and to hell with the rest of them. We just won't even say anything about them. So Foghorn, let me tell you one thing, okay? If you guys don't run a complete and unbiased and equal articles on each and every one of these people that's running for the Board of Regents, then I'm going to be right in the middle of your backs on this particular show and my other shows, okay? It's incorrigible. Then it says, proposed Del Mar bond cut in half. Fate of Del Mar College's future rests in coming election. No, the future of Del Mar College does not rest in this bond election, believe me, okay? We have had deferred maintenance, we have had administrative bloat, we've had money blown, we've got $7 million worth of 95 acres out there on Rodfield Road and Yorktown, and you know, for what? And all I can say is, let's see where the chips fall. But the fate of Del Mar College's future does not rest in the coming election. It rests on that Board of Regents and the administration of Del Mar College. And if they can't do the right thing, and they can't go back and start taking care of what we've got instead of trying to increase all of these other facilities around town, then, you know, I guess it'll fail then. We've got declining enrollment, folks. It just breaks my heart to see these students over here that are trying to make a living. And then I'll talk about the nursing program in just a minute. I mean, I'm horrified with all this. But Foghorn, why you had these pictures of the two people that the Board of Regents and the administration want on this Board of Regents to do their bidding instead of making it equitable with the other members that are the other candidates for that is just beyond my wildest comprehension. Then I have uncovered a few things. I've been after the goings on with the Board of the Board of Nursing and the termination of Janelle Bennett. And I just the other day on Tuesday, September the 4th, today's the 8th, on a Monday, then here's what I uncovered. Okay, it's Thursday, September the 4th. I asked for the billings from Grave, Daughtry, Heron, and Moody attorneys out of Austin, Texas. And here is a billing, okay? And this tells the whole story about the whole stinky mess with the Board of Nursing and the nursing department over here, okay? And here's what it was stated, and this was signed off by one of the attorneys for Graves, Daughtry, Heron, and Moody. Okay, on April the 28th of 2014, it says discussion with D, and I won't put the name down here, it's one of the nursing faculty, regarding pendency of nursing board investigation, okay? Likely future steps and obligation to notify others of pending investigation, review notification requirements. And it's by Patrick P. Thompson, and he's an attorney with Graves, Daughtry, Heron, and Moody out of Austin, Texas. And they say that they're at $395 per hour, so that 0.8 of an hour was $316 for the billing, and then it says less the discount of $66. This costs you taxpayers $250 to alert everybody that there is a big problem apparently with the Board of Nursing and the annex that have been going on at Del Mar for a great number of months. Okay. Jeez. And then we have a write-off that's signed by Dr. Lee Sloan. I got this under Public Information Act. This was back in April 7th of 2012, and it's a request of Dr. Escamilla to allow Dr. Sloan to write off some third-party debts. And the third-party debt, one of those, which I'm investigating, is the $54,000 plus that apparently Del Mar College claims that Texas A&M Kingsville owed Del Mar College, couldn't collect it, so they wrote it off. And then we've got the Coastal Bend Council of Governments around here, which is another governmental entity. And what happened with that one was they wrote $89,000. Now, how in the world can the Coastal Bend Council of Governments owe Del Mar College 89 grand? Now, when it was inquired of Texas A&M Kingsville any paperwork concerning why they owed Del Mar College $54,000 plus, then Kingsville wrote back and said, you know, after extensive investigation, we don't have any records of owing you $54,000. So I ask you taxpayers, what in the world is going on, okay? And then here's a headline in the newspaper not long ago. University of North Texas may have misstated finances by $23 million, officials say. So that opened up a whole can of worms up there because the finance people were trying to cover stuff up. What's going to happen with Del Mar? Then I've asked for certain things. The billings of one Augustin Rivera Jr., attorney. He is the attorney of record for the Del Mar College Board of Regents. I've asked for any billings that he has provided to Del Mar College since November 26, excuse me, 2013, and I'm told there are no billings. Now, I see him at the Board of Regents meetings. I know he's been involved with the Texas Board of Nursing debacle. Lord knows what's going on there. I know he's been involved with other things, like Janelle Bennett's dismissal hearings and all that kind of stuff and termination. Yet, I guess he's benevolent enough to not bill Del Mar College for anything. If he is billing, it's been through somebody else, and I've asked for that information. And I'll be totally honest with you, world out there, including Del Mar College and Mr. Augustin Rivera Jr., if I find out there's shenanigans going on, I'm going to have somebody's law license and I'm going to have somebody behind bars before it's all over with. And that's not a threat, that's a statement of fact. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm right up to here with being lied to and so forth and so on, and have the Manhattan Alley cat cover up over there. Okay? And I've discussed that enough to where you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, and then we've got one Mrs. Tammy McDonald who keeps covering stuff up over there. And all I can say is, Miss McDonald, you better watch out who you're over there, holding hands with. Let's just put it that simply. Because something stinks, folks. And I've got a pretty good nose for stinky stuff. I'm a microbiologist. I can tell when something's rotten in Denmark. And this seems to be it. So I keep asking and I keep getting the shuffle around. And then I've got a vice president of instruction that writes blogs like this. I mean, this is the most insane thing I've ever done. This is Dr. Fernando Figueroa. And then he said, the next great innovation for higher ed, ? Introspection. And I read this last time, okay? And one of his statements is, an entire system of school and credentialing has reinforced the myth that one who has, quote unquote, passed through this system and achieved the grand award of the PhD or other such terminal credentials is a voice of authority. Okay? Now, I didn't go to school over there to be a voice of authority, folks, but I know what the hell I'm doing around the laboratory and the research business in biochemistry and microbiology, and I don't know where Dr. Figueroa is coming from as a PhD with his major in medieval literature, okay? I guess he must have felt that he just skimmed through, didn't know anything, and he's not a voice of authority in medieval literature. I don't know. No wonder departments have to turn to other means to evaluate the expert-er and the expert-est voice in the room. Okay? Now, I don't know what the hell that's all about, except it's a slap in my face, folks, directly in my face, because I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, and so forth to earn a PhD with double majors, biochemistry and microbiology. I also earned a master's degree just before that, and my sum total of time I spent in graduate school, because I never slept between a bachelor's degree and a PhD, master's and PhD with double majors, biochem and microbiology. I left graduate school with both of those degrees in 2 weeks shy of 4 years. Okay. So how long did it take you, Dr. Figueroa, to obtain your PhD in medieval literature? All right. Now I'm down to about 3 minutes, so I'm going to move on with this. This is crazy. Board members. Okay, we've got Trey McCampbell, who's the chair. His term is up in 2016, and I can't wait. Elva Estrada. Now, Mr. McCampbell professes to be a master's in business, and I don't think he's a CPA. I don't know what his background is, but he ought to know and be able to look at Del Mar College finances and figure out why they wrote off $54,000 to at Texas A&M Kingsville when Texas A&M Kingsville doesn't know anything about it. Okay? All right. So something stinks there somewhere, Mr. McCampbell. Elva Estrada, vice chair. I think Elva Estrada was a high school principal or a school principal around here at one time. Her term does not expire until 2018. Then we have Dr. Nicholas L. Adami, and he is district at large. His term is up this year. He's running as one of 6 for the at-large position with Del Mar College, and I've already told you that I'm a little bit disturbed that I put a lot of time and energy and probably some money into him being in 6 years ago, and he doesn't even know who I am. He won't acknowledge that. Okay, but he's a hot shot with LULAC around here, which I guess swings a big weight. Gabriel Rivas III, his is on 2018. I think he just got in. He is a photographer around. As far as I'm concerned, has no academic background whatsoever, except he did attend Del Mar College. And then we've got Mr. James Boggs. His term expires in 2016. I don't know. I thought he was up again this one for his District 5, but he's an architect. He's the guy that sleeps during the board meetings and so forth and so on. Susan Hutchison is an attorney. She'll be up in 2016. Guy Watts is an attorney. His term expires in 2014. Tom Walter, his term expires this go around. He's running against Guy Watts and another person for District 4. And then Sandra Messbarger is 2018, and I'm not so sure what she does. Okay, so call your regents and let them know, and then I could go on and on and on here with a whole pile of stuff. I don't know that it's necessarily worth it. I just wanted to set the record straight. I'm going to go around. I've got a minute left, and I'm going to shut the cameras down and then come back for a few minutes with the banner and see what we can get done in the meantime. So I'm going to turn the cameras off. Okay, folks, I think I'm recording here. We got about 40 seconds left. If you'll notice, if you want to get a hold of me, then you can go ahead and email me at gsansing@gmail.com. We're also, these shows are available on YouTube. Just go into YouTube and put in Gerald, Gerald, Sansing, Sansing, and pull them up and you can watch the show. Okay, if you want to put it on your Facebook and so forth and spread the word, then I'm more than happy for you to take poetic license and so forth and so on and put these things anywhere you want. So I'm going to shut it down for the evening. Thank you. Good night.